Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open to business here. Let's wake up those football guys. Wake up here, guys. How are you doing on this football Sunday? It's crazy because when you look down at the clock, we have 56 days, 9 hours, 53 minutes, and 45 seconds until the end of the season. This is crazy how quickly this all goes. Here it is. We got 4 regular season games left. Next Saturday is Christmas. The end of 2021 is right here on the cusp of things. And it's crazy. It's just crazy how quickly this season, this year, and hell, my life has gone by. So make sure you take time to enjoy every minute of it. You know what? I'd rather watch the Cowboys struggle in a victory than not have any football at all. Let's keep that in mind because we're headed for that. And for us, today is another one of those days to prove that you have the right to be one of those ones fighting for that opportunity to go to a Super Bowl. The weather today in New York right now, I believe there's a little bit of snow showers. It's going to be 14-mile-an-hour winds, and in that stadium, the winds swirl at that stadium. And this is the time of year where 2 things need to get good. 2 things need to get good. One, your running game. You need to be able to start running the football. And second, your defense comes to life and is able to stop the run. Our defense has come around, and while everybody's been over here focusing in on the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, who, for a multitude of reasons, not just Dak is misplaced. Don't get it twisted because, generally speaking, when I talk about Dak and I point out all the things that are going on, the haters will just say, it's just Dak. How can it be just Dak if Amari Cooper's not there for 2 games? How can it be just Dak if you don't have CeeDee Lamb there for a game? How can it be just Dak when there is no running game that can pound the ball and run out the clock? How is it just Dak when the offensive line is in shambles, losing Tyron Smith for now 4 games? The thing that they don't tell you on those shows when they say, look at Dak Prescott the last 6 games, they don't put in there that Tyron Smith has been gone 4, that Amari Cooper's been gone 2, that we've experimented with Connor McGovern coming in for Connor Williams. They don't put out there that CeeDee Lamb was gone for a game and a half. They don't put out there that Zeke Elliott has been running the football 3.5 yards per carry. And as much as everybody always says, it's just the quarterback, it's beyond just the quarterback, guys. Let's be real here. It's a team sport. You need the quarterback to play well, but guess what? Sometimes they don't. You could look at Mac Jones last night. Wasn't exactly good, and of course they lost. You could look at Kyler Murray the other night, and they lost. We still won against a team we lost to twice last year on the road in the division. So I'm not ready to go ahead and follow with all of these, talking heads that it's doom and gloom, because the reality is, for the first time, we have a defense that teams are going to fear, a defense that can get to a guy like Aaron Rodgers instead of letting him have 7-8 seconds to throw, a defense that maybe could actually lead us to a Super Bowl. And the offense, as bad as they've been, as they've told you it's been, it's still one of the better offenses in the NFL, second in points on the season. And they will turn it around. Teams go through a slump. And this is a get-right game right here. You go to New York, you get there against a team that's decimated, that morally has got to have, it's got to be about one of the saddest situations that's there. Their draft picks have been horrendous. Their free agents have been awful. Their front office is questionable. And their coach seems to be out of answers. And those are the kind of games that you go there and you feast on. You get to 10-4, and you get ready to take on the Washington football team the next weekend. And here's the thing, because we already played Washington. Washington, the weather wasn't that bad. It was about 50 degrees. Not awful. But now you're starting to get into that late season stuff. So now you've got all of a sudden 40-degree weather and, 14, 15-mile-an-hour winds. That wind chill, is going to be in the low 30s. You end up playing against Washington at home, great, perfect conditions. But then you've got to play like Philadelphia up there when it's cold. And believe me, it will be cold by then. So this is where we need to start getting this running game together. In my mind, I'm almost at the point of thinking that with Tony Pollard being a game time decision, that decision should already be made that he's not going to play. If he is that questionable, even if you were somehow to lose to the Giants, this game isn't as important in the grand scheme of things as it will be for playoffs. And I almost say the same about Zeke Elliott. 3.5 yards per carry is not going to be the difference maker of us winning and losing the game. It will be come January. So, with that being said, let's check out what they have to say, actually, with Max Kellerman. Max, who doesn't seem to have the same pressure of being there with Stephen A. Smith, actually seems to be a little bit better at what he does.
On Dak, since we're talking Dak.
Patient, because I think things are going well there in general. I think the answer to the question is probably no. You can't. They're not going to win a Super Bowl with him playing like he played Sunday, because if you throw the Patriots the ball inexplicably late in the game when you're trying to put Washington, who probably doesn't have enough to do that.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the key. But I don't think he will continue to play like. I mean, he's a good player, and I think it'll get better. And the way the defense is playing makes them an overall stronger team. So I think, yes, if the Super Bowl were this week, I'd be worried if they were in it. But I think they have time to bring it around.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max is presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join on the Goodyear Hotline. And Dan Graziano has already started to give you that straight talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. He is a good player, Dak. And the question is he a great player? And I think we find out now. So Dan writes a great column for ESPN.com called Overreaction, Not an Overreaction. We're going to play that right now. Let's stick with the Cowboys. Micah Parsons is the best defensive rookie since Lawrence Taylor. Overreaction, not an overreaction, Dan.
It's not an overreaction. I mean, without going through the entire list, I'm trying to like Aldon Smith he has the sack record for rookies at 14. Parsons already has 12 with 4 games to play. And he's not just Aldon Smith come into the league, he's an edge rusher. Like, just go get the quarterback, we'll work on everything else as you evolve. Parsons has to do other stuff. I mean, there are games where he's an off-ball linebacker. I think it's incredible what he's doing, and that's not a comparison that I make lightly. I have maintained that Lawrence Taylor, until Brady won his 5th or 6th or 7th Super Bowl, I would have said Lawrence Taylor was not just the best defensive player in league history, but the best player in league history.
Yeah, I don't think it's an overreaction. At first I did, because I just thought about the name Lawrence Taylor. But when I look at what he means to his particular football team, the only difference for me growing up as a young player is Lawrence Taylor changed the game. Okay, everybody wanted to go get one of those if they could find one, which a lot of teams couldn't find anything remotely close to that. I think Michael Parsons has changed the defense of the Dallas Cowboys. Him alone, in my opinion, could take the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Just him alone, because you have to account for him at every single snap, whether it's the run game or the pass game.
Dan,
wow.
Quick question for you. When somebody says the name Lawrence Taylor and they say Micah Parsons right next to it, what place does that take people to?
Well, it takes people to the all-time greats discussion. We're talking about rookie years.
Yes.
Like,
okay.
That's the question.
Thank
right?
you.
Like, is
Rookie
this
year
year that Micah Parsons having comparable to Lawrence Taylor's 1983.
Well, except
not
here's
Lawrence
the other
Taylor's entire career.
It's not an overreaction. It's not necessarily true, but he's certainly in the conversation for best defensive rookie since Lawrence Taylor. No one's saying he's as good as Lawrence Taylor. We're saying that Lawrence Taylor, in fact, you're saying Lawrence Taylor's better than this. But since then, who is the best since
rookie
LT set
defensive
the
rookie season? Yeah, again, without seeing the entire list, I mean, it's tough.
It seems like reasonable
but
to ask.
his impact is undeniable when you watch Cowboys games. I mean, he's everywhere, and the Cowboys, to their credit, figured out in training camp, hey, we got to build our entire defense around this guy. He's our best player, and we need to make sure that we act like it.
Giants passed on him in the draft and handed him to the Cowboys because they already had, they had so many holes to fill. Great job, Gettleman.
They got tricked by another division team and a trade up, and they just got completely outfoxed.
I'm going to lose my lunch. I haven't even had breakfast yet. Urban Meyer will only last one season in Jacksonville.
All right.
The answer from Dan Graziano.
Well, he didn't last that one season, so there you go. Micah Parsons. You know what? Thank you, Max Kellerman, because, see, you actually defined it better the way you guys described it than I did. Because Bad Dog, of course, went crazy. He went crazy about my comparison of of Micah Parsons to Lawrence Taylor's rookie season. And we're witnessing something great. And I'm hoping that today in New Jersey that Bad Dog will get a eyewitness view of how great this guy has been playing. I honestly cannot wait to see this game. I cannot wait to see this game. This is going to be something to behold. The Giants' offensive line is terrible. They're terrible. Their quarterback, who knows? It doesn't matter who's going to be there. Even if Daniel Jones were, it wouldn't matter. This guy is relentless at getting to the quarterback. Every week, he has gotten to the quarterback over the last 7 games. It's unbelievable, with a couple of multi-game sacks. The sack record is Javon Curse with 14.5. He's only 2.5 away. And maybe Diggs can get another one of those interceptions and get him a little bit closer to the Dallas Cowboys record. And so with that being said, I got to get out here and get to Home Depot, get some more wood, and get some cutting done before our games. And I got to also get some stuff because we're having the chopped cheese steak. So I hope you guys join us here today for our live stream starting out at 12:45. So with that being said, let's get
our coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Sports Report.